coming up on 10 million hours, safe work hours, which is a huge milestone for us. We'll achieve that 22nd of this month. Not that we're counting or anything, but it'll be 22nd about 11:30 a.m. Thanks for that to say. And but that's a big milestone for us because our number one job is to, for our workers to go home safe at the end of the day. So big deal. But we're kind of we're in a good position. Sodi has got a lot of potential suitors for land. And so the department's feeling a little bit of a sense of urgency to get the cleanup mission done so we can start turning land over to industry, which is good for everybody, including our workers. And that's the number one thing, is that our workers feel like they've got a place to go when they're done with the cleanup mission. And I don't think there's any doubt they do. In fact, I think we're going to get in a situation where we're going to be competing for workers.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. And we're going to be trying to compete to keep the workers we have till we're finished, because they're going to see opportunities in these other industries. So that's a real good thing. So no, you heard you probably heard about the potential annexation that was a pretty big, politically charged, thankfully short-lived event. The villages backed off. Now, at some point, some entity, governmental entity, is going to have to step in and start providing utilities for the private land that's being created by DOE. But they probably need to have a little bit. They probably need to have a better plan and a better communication plan, so the workers.
That's what jet agreements are for.
That's exactly right. So it probably wasn't done the smoothest way possible, but anyway, that's kind of a dead issue for now. But that's, to us, that was just a distraction. It was a distraction for our workforce, and we worry about those things when it happens because they're focused on that instead of, maybe keeping themselves as safe as they should be. So we're excited for this spring. We've opened up. We're opening up another cell at the on-site waste disposal facility. We've got 2 more that are coming in right behind that. So we're on track with the baseline, and things are running well, and the department's very happy with the progress, and we're happy with the way things are going. Now, the new contract, where the prime contract for the D&D contractor was rebid, that still has not been. It's been awarded, but it hasn't been given notice to proceed because we're waiting on the other contract, which has been protested. So it's just a contractual quagmire. It's been 3 years since almost 3 years since the D&D contract was awarded, and we still don't have the new contractor in place. But for our workers, it's not going to be much of a change. We're working very hard to make sure that 1 week their paycheck will say this, and the next week it'll say that, and they don't have to pay back loans and all that sort of thing. So that's the main thing, is that our workers feel very little impact from it. But that's really what's going on. It's kind of all good news. We don't, there's no real issues at the plant, but we do have a bright summer this year. We're going to be bringing on more workers, which is always a good thing. So our overall population will get up to about 2,700 at the plant this summer. So and it'll stay that way for about 4 years while we're in this demolition phase. So it's going to be, that's us and the other contractors combined. We'll get up to about 2,300 ourselves, FBP. So that's always
can't see them wholesaling the whole team at the start of the 4th quarter. That doesn't make any sense.
That made no sense. Yeah, but I agree, and we might have had a conversation about that on the way up here, maybe.
For 3 seconds?
Yeah,
for about 3 or 4 seconds.
I think we talked from Divide Hill to Ramey's about that.
Yeah, we did.
Anyway, so but we certainly appreciate everything you guys do to help us when we have initiatives locally, and Ross County has been a great partner for us. So I turn it over to Tim. Let him talk a little bit about the economic development, our way of giving back. And
so Tammy and Tiffany, as you all know, is very strong for Ross County. They're good advocates for you guys. They don't let a penny go by without fighting for it. Is that a correct statement for you too?
Yeah.
So, we got a number of projects going on right now. We're, with Timka. Is that how you say it?
Tykma.
Tykma and MHC, and then Paper City Coffee. You got a coffee shop in here that created a couple jobs, and so that's really what it's all about, right? It's about small incremental changes in the community, and that's really what we want to use this money for. And so it's usually about 110,000, and she doesn't let a penny go by without getting her share. But it's all about creating jobs and creating goodwill in the community and making a difference. As you know, Jack, we started Steam Ahead program for the spring quarter as well. We're going strong in Pike County. We'd love to come up to Ross.
Well, I have to talk to you about
So
that, because
I'll be glad to.
we are right at the edge of 2 school systems that want to start that.
Yeah,
That's
because
awesome.
we've gone down to Scioto County, we got one school in Scioto County now, and we've been talking to Shawnee State, but we'd love to come up here as well. But it's all about getting volunteers, as you know, and getting that moving forward. But it's right going forward and going strong. And we got Science Bowl coming up March 7th down to Shawnee State. We'll all be down there. You know, that's a big thing for the area kids to come down and participate. Ross County's well represented there, and as you all know, and that's a big thing for us every year. And a big thing for DOE as well. And so a lot of good stuff going on.
Oh, yeah.
For
Well, you know, like I said, Chillicothe City Schools and St. Trace are ready to go this year.
Good.
It's Steam Ahead. So we're gonna augment that with the middle school plant tours
Mhm.
and the high school internships.
Okay.
So we're gonna evolve that out a little bit like we've been talking
Yeah,
about
like
over
you and I,
the years.
you and me and Denise.
So, yeah, we're ready to start the
Good.
elementary school program and any day.
Good.
I mean, I just need to get with you, leave me some
Okay.
contact information.
All right, we can
I
do
got
that.
the names, but I don't have.
I'll
their
give you a card.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
I'll be glad for that. But a lot of good stuff going on, and like I said, these
Okay, she'll give it to you. She's
these
got-
two people-
Got a little speed dial, I can tell you what.
she knows how to get a hold of me.
It's true.
But yeah, I mean, and it's a great partnership that we have
Yeah.
with,
Has been for a long time.
and it's been for a long time, you know, with her predecessor, as you know, Chris. I saw
He
Chris.
didn't do anything.
No, Chris. But, yes, I run into Chris every so often, he's still around, but, it's great. Janisa is a great partnership, we've been working well together, and they're always looking out for each other. It's not just Ross County against Pike County or Jackson against Sauter, it's all 4 counties together. And that's what we built. As you know, I've been doing it for 10 years and very proud of that.
Just the
Continue that on.
impact you guys have had, and since you've been on board down there has been most appreciated. It's not forgotten, and it's certainly appreciated, so I just want you guys to know that.
Yeah, Greg gives me a lot of leeway here. He has me a couple go-dos I'm about to go talk to Tammy about, but, you know, it's a rewarding,
It's a good program.
good program.
I was happy to see our name on the sign out by the.
You like that,
industrial
don't you?
park. That was really nice. I
Yeah,
appreciate
you know,
it.
that's the only county that got it. I want all 4 of them to do it.
I
And
drove by.
Ross has done it because she did what I asked her to do.
I drive to the
She's
airport all the
trailblazer.
time, and I drive by and see our name. I
Yep,
think that's awesome.
and it will always be there.
Good.
So that's it.
Oh, cool, we appreciate you guys, what you're doing.
Okay, well, thank you. If you need anything at all, just let us know. We're always glad to help if we can. And otherwise, let's just keep being great partners.
Yep.
No, thank you very much.
I would just say, first of all, thank you. I'm glad to have you here and appreciate the partnership. The question that comes to mind for me a lot as we think about economic development and just the grand scheme of power availability and those things, is there opportunity, or what opportunity could exist if the landscape supported it for on-site generation at that facility?
So that's coming. Okay, so there's two entities that have already have contracts for land there. One is a company called Oklo, which is a small modular reactor company. And so they're gonna build 2 25 megawatt power generating plants there. So there'll be 50 megawatts. The other one is the company called H2 Trillium, and they're a hydrogen plant, and they crack natural gas to make hydrogen. And they're gonna put in a 40 megawatt generation plant there. So between the two, there's 90 megawatts. But, you know, we have the substations there. We have 5 power generating stations that feed the site. So we're one of the only sites in America that has this quantity of power. We can do, you know, somewhere in the neighborhood of 2,000 megawatts. And so that's why, you know, too early to talk about it, but I know SODI has got some conversations going on with, you've heard the AI thing, that sort of national
Yeah, that's what-
priority
yeah.
for AI. We're on a short list, just so you know. In fact, what I was told is we're one of the top 5 sites in America. That's saying something.
I can only
Top
imagine,
5, because you have endless water. For the Scioto Valley, we did 30 million gallons a day when we were in operation, and those wells are still intact. And you have almost unlimited electricity, and those are the 2 things you need for AI. So, you know, I know there's discussions going on, but, you know, hopefully sometime in the next year, there's some kind of an announcement come out about that. But that's why the department has a sense of urgency to get the cleanup mission done, because if you're in the top 5 in the United States, you're probably getting a little bit of, chatter going on about that.
Yep, yeah.
So, yeah, that's I think Tammy and
She's
I
on the
both
board,
are
so she can tell you all about it.
Yeah.
I can't, but she might.
She can, she's on the board.
I think we're too early to talk
She's
about
probably
it,
been
but,
secrecy.
I've been sworn to secrecy.
Yeah.
but I do know SODI is actively looking at opportunities like that.
Good. Cool, thank you.
Good.
All right, gentlemen.
Thanks,
Appreciate
guys.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's good to see you guys.
Yep.
You too, nice to meet you.
Good to meet you, Dave.
Thank you.
Jack, thank you,
Thank
sir. Thank you very much.
Hey, see you later.
Yes, sir. Good to see you.
Good to see you, sir. Thanks.
Got a card? Yeah, I'll give you a card. It's in my wallet. Might be all crushed it up, but I'll give you that.
That's all right. All the numbers.
So I got it, so maybe just send it.
All right. See you.
I can't do an interview today.
Thank you, guys. Take care.
See you.
Thank you, guys.
Yep.
All right, the fly boys are in. I love it.
Thank you. See you later.
We'll wait a couple minutes here until 11:30 in case Kevin wants to step back in.
How are you, Dan?
Well, how about you?
Good. Did you have a good weekend?
I did.
Feeling better, Tammy?
Got a appropriation funds from the court administrative fund to mediation, $9,000.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Ross County Juvenile to care and custody, $97,140.94.
So,
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Well, that's the first time I've been doing it around top five days, so. So the board member came back with the days and just to hear what the budget is.
Coroner to general fund, $1,800.
so, you give it back to the
Yep.
gentleman?
That's what it says. From coroner. Contract.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Start at 11:30. We call this, didn't we? All right, we'll go ahead and get this part of the meeting started. So we have the airport board here. And we kind of want to talk about what's next for the airport. And it's been a little bit of a struggle since Jim passed away. We've taken our time on FBO selection, and his trust has moved along with TRM to try and get that figured out. And we got some information over the weekend that kind of conflicted with what they represented that as in terms of fuel farm and large hangar. So we're kind of going back to that, and we'll get that figured out. But we'll take care of that in contract negotiations, and that'll probably happen in executive session. So what we want to talk about today is next step. What we want to see the airport grow into, what do you guys want to see the airport grow into? How do you see this filling out, expanding? Pilot instruction, restaurants, hotels, we've heard a lot of things about how we want to see the airport grow. And so we just wanted to call this meeting together with particularly the pilots out there and the users of the airport on what you would like to see in the direction of growth out of the airport. You might want to start, Steve, I've never known you to be a last word.
Which Steve?
Yeah.
Okay, any Steve, right?
It don't make a difference right now, both of you.
Well, I think from a pilot standpoint that, yeah, just some, first of the improvements there, you need to bring it up. You know, you've got a fantastic facility out there as far as the runway. It's second to none of the local county airports. We all fly around to them, but the facilities, what we're talking about that you have is you have a great runway, good orientation for this area for the winds and everything to get in and out of. The pavement thickness and everything's there for all kinds of runway use, but the facilities itself are lagging behind what you'll see in some of the other counties. And when I say some of them are behind us. You know, Pike County's way behind, but if you go to Fayette County, Fairfield County, Highland County, even Midway County, they all have a way more infrastructure as far as buildings and the ability to use those buildings to generate usage by, for instance, you can't get your plane worked on. Every one of us has to take our plane someplace else to get it worked on. That's generating income and people, and you have fuel. We don't have a gas card fuel system. So it'd be like going back 35, 40 years ago to a filling station where somebody has to come out and,
Wipe your windshield and check your oil.
yeah, but they don't wipe your windshield. So,
Yeah.
but, they'll check your oil. You dump the gas in, still gotta wait on it. So that limits your time out there because of when you wanna fly. Now, pilots know to fuel up when you're someplace else, or fuel up there, make sure your plane's there in case, you know, you wanna take off and go after hours. But there's in my opinion, the facility is way underutilized as far as having the infrastructure and having the entrepreneurial people out there to make it grow into what could be, say, like Fairfield County is a great example. Now Fairfield County's, you know, a little closer to Columbus, straight in, but not that much more, you know, depending on which area you're coming from. Fayette County has, what, 4 hangars, and they're building another one up there. They do all kinds of business up there. And Ross County's missing out on that. As far as the other stuff, you know, we all fly different places for breakfast, lunches, whatever. That might be, we may not be the best suited for that, or hotels, but we are there for business. And, you know, the businesses that are related to aviation, and then the businesses that use aviation. And we just need to, I think, get caught up. And there's another thing, we have, I don't know if you were in, Nathan's in on, but, you know, a friend of ours bought an airplane, no place to keep it.
Yeah, I got a call on that.
Yeah, no place to keep it. There's no reason for that. Now, that's a nice plane, but you have people that have nice planes that use them for business, they don't have a place to keep it. But that runway is way better than where they have to keep it, way more convenient than where they have to keep it. You know, this is a real convenient place.
That's why we want to leverage it.
Yeah,
Yeah, it sounds like we can be competitive if we've
Yeah.
got.
yeah,
We've got the foundation for that, but we've got.
Yeah.
That facility out there is probably one of the county's most valuable assets. I know it's very hard for you guys to appreciate it, but to recreate that, it would be exorbitant. That's an incredibly valuable facility. It's very difficult for a fixed base operator to make a living in a little airport like that. So you need to get someone that's aggressive, somebody who has ideas. The fellow that operates Fayette County, he happened to marry well. So he's not hurt, but he's been aggressive, and that airport has grown since he's been there. I give him credit. One of the things Fayette County has done, commissioners, is they have promoted the leased ground privately held hangars. I know one person I'm sitting very close to now that might be interested in doing that. There's a lot of good available ground there that wouldn't infringe on the limits that the feds require from the center line of the runway. Man, that's some valuable ground. Like I say, it's gonna be tough to find a good FBO unless he's already established someplace else and wants a satellite. And I think that's gonna be the ticket. Selling fuel, nobody makes any money. You're crazy if you try to make money. You're better off to trade dollars and increase the traffic. But I'm not saying it's gonna be impossible, but it's gonna be tough to find an FBO. You might start looking at people who are already in the business.
We know that. There's Duncan Oil has expressed interest to becoming the FBO even though they've never run an airport. So take that at face value. But
I had a little frown like that too, and I still got that frown.
Well, the man that owns Duncan Oil says he doesn't know, but he has a knack for hiring the right people. So that extends the conversation anyway. I mean, we need to look at every potential FBO that comes along.
Absolutely.
There's gentlemen at Fairfield that wanna bring flight instruction here and can bring 3 planes down tomorrow if they had someplace to stick them.
All right.
You know, we know we need hangars. How many, what type? I don't think the big one is suitable for a maintenance hangar because it's not heated right. Floor's not heated, and opening the big door and closing it, you're letting all your heat out in the wintertime. So, but what we're missing out on annuals and those kind of opportunities because you guys wing somewhere else to get your planes checked every year. That's a source of revenue that we're missing. So, you know, understanding the opportunities to make revenue there and fund the growth is what we're looking at. We're starting with a sewer line that's being put in, starting at the airport down Stone Road all the way down 104. Right. And hopefully that'll lead to more building. But we want to really kind of focus on the airport, knowing the gym that we have in airport length and width, the runway length and width, and just the logistics in the southern part of Ohio. So we want to make sure that it's utilized and people aren't going to other airports to service aircraft that can't be serviced at Ross County.
We all do.
So we want to make it more convenient. So that's the kind of the specific things we want to hear from you fellows today about what we should be building and specifically what that looks like.
Yeah, I think it's an ideal opportunity for a PPE. I really do.
Yeah, you start out though, like Dunkin' Oil does have deep pockets, so, you know, you have to listen to a guy that says, I wanna get in that business, if he does, but, yeah, there's a lot of money. When you look at the things that you can bring in, you can bring in damn near any jet you want in there. I mean, you can bring anything in there, literally. So when you start doing that, and then you also, you know, you have several helicopter mechanics down there. There's nothing that says you can't start doing helicopter mechanic. That's big money. People will bring those in. You know, those aren't done at Port Columbus, the helicopter maintenance.
And they lost that when what's his name retired from out here, the airport out there, because he was a helicopter mechanic. So Columbus PD no longer brings their helicopter down.
But, you know, those don't get done at Port Columbus, and really, I don't even think they get done at Don Scott anymore. So they're bringing them to the fringes to where they can fly their planes in and have that hangar space. And there's no reason why you couldn't do that. There's no reason why you couldn't do corporate business jet maintenance out there. There's just all kinds of stuff that's possibility because you have a good infrastructure in your runway. You're missing the rest of the infrastructure.
And I think now, you know, the person who wants to build something out there, we haven't lost that. We're still looking at that, Steve. We're still, you know, we need, our prosecutor needs to get involved in it to find out what we can, what we can't do and stuff like that out there. So,
Yeah.
we haven't left you behind, so we're still
Yeah.
looking at that.
And I don't wanna be misleading at all with me, you know. I need a hangar to put some, my airplanes in. I think Nathan's probably the same way, is that there's just not any hangars. You know, we've got one in, we, you know, we put in, but we'd like to have a hangar like you do at Fayette County. And they do have that already, you know, the template's already there with Fayette County, how they've gone through with their commissioners and how they've gone through with their law director, so it's there. But I don't wanna be that, hey, I'm gonna use my hangar to make money for Steve Hausman. My thing is a place to put my planes. So I don't want that to be confused that, hey, I'm gonna be taking this and being a business for Steve Hausman.
Well, we're looking at potential of hiring a consultant to take us down the pathway, the right pathway of growing the airport. And what does that look like? How do we need to prepare? What comes first, second, and third? You know, what kind of things need to be done on a foundational level versus a finishing tuck kind of thing, and in what priorities. So we are looking into that, but certainly servicing our existing customers is important. And that's you guys. So, any other thoughts on what do you, Larry?
What's the backlog on hangar rental? How many people do we have on our wait
What
list?
is the back?
We've got about 12 people on the waiting list.
Are those people typically on other waiting lists as well?
That I don't know.
Does anybody hear from Duncan?
Yeah.
Anybody here from Duncan?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
They were here last week.
Yeah.
Okay. Because they've hired Stan, he's come back. So they think they're the FBO.
They can think all they want to.
Okay. I mean, they want to be.
They want to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. They want to be.
Stan only gave him a one-year commitment, though. I don't know if he'll stay longer. They did talk about that last week when they were here.
Yeah.
But they also have Danny Cash still working. Both those guys work for Jim. So at this point, you know, they really kind of are the FBO. I mean, they're the only folks that are there at the airport.
Yeah, we're existing right now.
Yeah.
Do they have any interest in doing like flight training and aircraft?
Fairfield County has.
But Duncan does not?
The Duncan does not.
Okay.
I don't think they know what it is.
There is, over in Greene County, we have one of our employees is taking flight training in Greene County. He lives in Dayton, so he's not gonna take it here no matter what we do, but, they have, I think the same guy owns it, but they have two separate entities. They have one that's the FBO and a separate one for the flight school. So, I mean, that can exist,
Mhm.
so you could have something like that.
Yeah, I know that Fairfield County has 17 planes, 14 instructors, and they're interested in FBO.
I've flown over there and it's very nice.
Mhm. And they're great guys. Pat and Ian or I think. that's-
When I got
that's who
checked
talked
out
to.
over there, the instructor was actually from Chillicothe.
There's 2 or 3 instructors from around here. I think Steve knows, Steve keeps up on them, but there's 2 or 3 people around here that would be instructors. They just don't have them.
Yeah, we need a hangar to put the planes.
Yeah.
It all comes
And
back to that.
the key card fuel. The key card fuel is gonna start, you know, I don't wanna be too obtuse about this, but, last 15 years, general aviation has been driven away from Ross County Airport.
I know that was one of the things we asked him about, asked Duncan about a key card. And Stan or one of them said something about, well, we did lower the price of the fuel, and I'm thinking.
And that's a very good,
I said, well, okay, but how about swiping the card?
yeah.
So,
90% of the fuel I buy, it's stick the card in.
I think one thing that I'm learning here is we could sum up this whole conversation of, we know the what. We need certain things, we know what they are. The question now is how. And how do we get out of our own way or get whatever it is out of the way to allow this, we wanna make it, I would say, I wanna make it easy for people to invest here, easy for people to come here, there's clearly a pent-up demand, or a demand for some investment there on the hangar front, on the fuel front, on all of these things. How do we get ourselves out of the way for the current, how do we get the tools we need to allow all that to happen? And I think once we create a landscape that will allow it to happen, whether that's a new FBO or whatever, that will come, sounds pretty quickly.
You know, I think it comes back to Covey's first rule, begin with the end in mind.
Yeah.
What do we want this to look like? It doesn't have to be exact, and there's gonna be different roads to get there. So what's the potential that you guys see available to us?
But this, we're here as the Port Authority, this new thing, and we might have, I'm new to this myself. Brad obviously he's one of our people on our committee. It seems like we ought to be talking, or considering this, or see if we can help you in some way to achieve some of it.
Well, I think it's an open discussion right now, and
Yeah.
certainly you guys are gonna play a huge factor in this. But I think that the, you know, another thing that's been talked about is cross docks and warehousing for industrial flights. And, you know, Steve said we can land any jet. We have landed 737s in there during COVID that carried supplies for Kenworth. And sometimes that's a cheaper option, especially with a national driver shortage, than trucking it is. And it gets there a lot more fast. So I think there's a lot of advantages just to exploring certain things and kind of using our imaginations, and don't worry about crazy talk right now because it's not a firm plan we're putting into place, but we want to look at every variable.
Just to clear, because you said Port Authority Board, this is the airport committee of the Port Authority, or?
Just part of the Port Authority.
Yeah.
So this is the Port Authority Board collectively?
Right, for Ross
Okay.
County.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, we've talked a lot about the airport specifically, but there's a lot of tools that can be used through a Port Authority countywide, and one thing that I know the Port Authority itself is relatively new, but I would like to understand and have a conversation, it's probably not today, but a conversation about what is the vision and overall purpose for the Port Authority as a whole. You know, the airport maybe being a piece of that, but, you know, Port Authorities are one of the most powerful tools that we have in Ohio for economic development, and there's tremendous utility around the things that you can do with a Port Authority outside of just the port part of it. And I don't know if we've had that conversation or if it's happened yet, and how the Port Authority works with or in concert to the other economic development efforts that we have around the county.
Well, you're right that it is a new Port Authority, and the members of the Port Authority Board are learning what the strengths of Port Authorities are. And at the last meeting, I serve as their secretary, I'm not the director of the Port Authority. The last meeting, there was a lot of conversation about the airport, and we believe too that it's an underutilized asset for our county. And so we're interested in finding out how we can work with the commissioners and everyone who's interested in seeing this come to fruition, what our role might be. I don't know if it's Port Authority's role to lead, but we're certainly here to support.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's prudent for us to have a work session. I mean, it feels like we know what things we need to put in place.
I think that, you know, what I don't wanna do is drift off the airport, because we do have airport guys here this morning.
Right.
And this is gonna be one of many meetings for Port Authority and through our agents of such.
Well, your consultant that you're talking about, you're looking into, it'd be helpful.
Absolutely.
If they
I mean-
they could probably guide us in a way that would be.
Yeah, we'll get the right people in the right places as we move forward on this, but this is a dream session for the people that use the airport. And then we'll filter in how everybody plays and fills responsibilities in that at a later date, as we find out about how Port Authority works and what's our responsibility in a growing airport as commissioners. This is all new ground, it's pretty exciting new ground. And I think that it'll add a lot to our community, having that airport operating at full tilt and doing the things it's supposed to do for the community and the pleasure of the pilots that use it. So,
Well, my thing is, my 1/3 up here is I'm gonna listen to these guys in the back. These guys in the back who's the pilots and stuff like that that's been flying from different places. I couldn't tell you one way or the other how airports ran, don't know anything about it. And right now, I don't think the Ross County Airport is being ran the way it's supposed to be. And I don't think it's been ran the way it's supposed to be for quite some time now. Because I can remember when I was younger, I went out there for an air show. I haven't seen an air show out there. No, I can go to Vinton County and see a Vinton County air show down there, but I can't see.
A mile away, the Pickwick County.
Yeah, real Pickwick County. There's a lot of things that can be done out there, and I'm hoping that this is gonna happen. I think you guys, that flies in and out of there knows what other pilots are looking for. I don't know if I can get somebody to be a consultant to anything, but until you get firsthand of what the guy's looking for and what everybody's looking for, what somebody's looking for me now. I'm just kidding.
It's lunchtime, look, Booty.
Is that what it is?
So one thing that might be helpful too, is, you're not reinventing the wheel.
Yeah.
You're asking us what we want, but what we want, we've already seen a lot.
yeah.
And so, Jack, you've been to, over to Fairfield County, but maybe have Brad, somebody go with me, or Steve, or Nathan, or whatever, take one day. And, of course, you'll have to buy me lunch. I mean, you have to give me money. to buy
Well,
lunch.
if we're gonna fly, I'll buy you lunch.
Okay. But no, just go around, hit about 4 airports that we could say, like Claremont County's like a cream of the crop. Fairfield County's a kind of a cream of the crop. Urbana's a really good one. And you can go hit about 4 airports real quick and just look and say, get out. Most of the time you know somebody there. Hit Fayette County, that's kind of, they're on a growing thing, but they've done a really good job of going up pretty quick. And you say, okay, this is what these people have. They have this. They're closer to town, so they're gonna have a restaurant. Oh, these people have this guy here that, like Claremont County has Sporty's, world renowned for pilots. Literally world renowned, it's where everybody buys their stuff. And then people fly in there and just buy stuff. But these are some of the things you can say, okay, well, these people just do aircraft maintenance here. These people sell, and you hit about 5 of them, and that gives you a good idea of, hey, this is where I'd like to be. I may not be able to be here right now, but I'd like to be here, but let's start out like trying to go towards this one and end up like that one.
Yeah.
And you go to about 5 airports, and you could probably pick them like just in the region, not going out of the state, and just pick 5 county airports and go to them one day. Doesn't take that long, and kind of take some pictures, make some notes, and kind of give you a report back of this is what this has, this has, this has, this is why this has this, because they had this benefactor, they had a better location, this guy was a great mechanic and had a business,
Do you know what happened to the mechanic that was there? No? Now, they still have the avionics shop.
Avionics shop, which is big, avionics.
It is.
And that's a very good thing, but
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
usually totally separate from the mechanic shop.
Right.
Um,
It is there too.
Yeah,
But-
but that, if you had a really good mechanic, Highland County, I keep one of my planes at Highland County. Highland County, without the mechanic that's there, you would hear nothing but crickets. Literally, nothing but crickets. It's all because there's a good shop there.
You gotta remember too, that the facilities to work on, if we go up there, you can go up to Fayette County and see what he works on. His, what the facility he has to work out of versus what somebody's standing out there trying to work today
Yeah.
on the avionics.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can take them out, but sooner or later, you gotta go stand out there and put them back in the plane. You gotta pull them out, put them back in, and that's the avionics. The mechanic is 90%, 95% of the time on his feet in that garage standing. You don't have that facilities.
I sit on the board of OSAP, Ohio Strategic Airport program. But they're putting together what everybody has, an inventory of each airport that's in Ohio. So I look at a spreadsheet of what different airports have, but seeing it firsthand and
Yeah.
seeing how it fits in with the rest of the things that that airport has to offer, and then how all that kind of piecemeals into a Ross County scenario. That's what we need to have.
Like I say, fly to 5, send Brad, take Udi, just go to 5 airports and pick out 5 of them. Steve can pick out 5 that he thinks of he goes through all of them a lot more. And go see them and see the facilities, see what you want. And that's the easiest way to know where, because you want to know where you want to be.
Mhm.
Well, somebody has already invented that wheel, and the template's there, like I say, the hangars, like if you wanted to let me, for instance, build a hangar out there for my planes, the template's already there from Fayette County. Those people there, they've already run it through everything, so you can go there and say, okay, well, this is what they did. They're building a new hangar, and they got government money for it.
Yeah, and I think the answer to the question, the other half that I mentioned earlier, is why isn't this already happening? There's a market
Yeah.
for it. I think it's an opportunity for entrepreneurship where we don't have to do
No.
everything. We create an opportunity for other folks to come in and make money off of it, and let it be more responsive to whatever the market's driving. If we can get out of the way, there's gonna be folks like you and others who see the opportunity for making their own investments on that, and so.
That was my suggestion with the PPE. It's ideal. You've got the land and you got investors.
But that's one thing, we go back, that just made me think about the hangar. So, when we first came in here and discussed that, was talking about that hangar, I said, whatever you do, because I was a chairman of CIC board when we did that roll around on the hangar out there. Totally against it. I mean, I was absolutely, but as a CIC, you are a de facto arm of the commissioners. So I went ahead and said, I'm not gonna go ahead if you guys are and fight this, just because I did. And everybody on the CIC board was against it at the time too, but so we all agreed we are an arm of the commissioners. If they wanna do it, that's what we're supposed to do. But don't buy, my thing when it came in here a few months ago was, don't overpay for that hangar because you can replicate it better. But then at the same time, Fayette County is getting free money to replicate it. And on their land, and do that. So there's some of the things that's available. They're gonna build.
They got that money because they had a shovel-ready project.
Yeah.
And they had, that money was a one-time deal, and it had to be, to get that money, it has to be put together by May of this year.
Yeah.
I went to that FAA meeting
Yeah.
and listened to them talk about that, but that,
Yep.
they don't usually give money, the FAA doesn't usually give money for hangars.
But they did, and my point
Well,
is,
yeah.
shovel ready for a hangar
In much,
is about 2 weeks' time,
yeah.
maybe a week.
Yeah.
Who owns
Start-
the big hangar now? Is the commissioner?
Well, that's what we found.
We
that's
don't
what
know,
found.
I don't think.
Well, no, we do know now.
Do
Yeah.
you know now?
Yeah, we didn't know, but we know now, so we
Surprised me
were always,
to visit.
we were always told that Jim owned it. Because supposedly, Jim bought it back after all that shenanigans went on with the CIC. And come to find out, Jim doesn't own it, the CIC owns it. And supposedly TRM has been paying a lease payment to the CIC all this time. Did you know that?
No, sir, I did not know that.
We didn't, know. That's what we were told.
Yeah.
Well, where's that money being paid to if it's not
That's
being
a very
paid to the
good
CIC?
question.
That's a question. Secondly, the fact that we have a port authority, the property shouldn't be in a CIC. CICs have to pay, you have to pay property taxes on. A port authority doesn't have any carrying costs on.
I do know for a fact that the CIC, we bought that building off of it, because I went through Ross County Banks and handed him the check. And then he laughed.
You bought it off of Jim?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was the one I disagreed with buying it. When
Right.
they were like, well, they'll come and take that hangar. I'm like, nobody's gonna come and take a building off of a ground like that. let them take it. Let the bank come take it. We'll put a, not gonna take the
We
concrete.
just learned that.
We'll take up with concrete, but
We'll,
heat the floor.
we'll take the
and-
concrete,
There's a
we'll put bolts.
record, I thought, somewhere.
Well, I'm sure it's in the CIC
So they had-
record somewhere. And I understood that the CIC records are in the basement of,
Yeah, they are, and I've been through them all, and I've not seen
Never
any
seen that,
hangways, no.
And we've been audited, we go through our financials, I've never seen a payment.
well, that's what we were told, and that he was paying like between $6,000 and $8,000 a month.
So that was after I was off the CIC board.
Yeah, since 1994, it'd have been $1.8 million that's supposed to have been paid to the CIC. And that would have paid for the hangar long time ago. I mean, that's $500,000 hangar.
Yeah.
So we just found that out. and
Yeah, we just
This
found that
week
out.
was our chance to start talking about it and coming to you guys and saying, hey, is it in the folder, or is it not in the folder, or, you know, have you been getting a lease payment or not?
I'd heard at one time it was like 5,000 a month, which is.
Well, I think they said between 6 and 8, yeah,
We're supposed to be receiving 5,000 a month.
from TRM.
It's not happening.
No, I didn't think it was happening.
We didn't think so either.
So we got some things to clean up out there.
You can say that
Put on the-
One thing to learn from, I hope, years ago, the FAA prohibited an airport manager from profiting from the activity at the airport. That's no longer in effect, but it wasn't a bad rule.
No.
You might consider a county-paid airport manager for all these different activities going on, rather than having somebody there that's making money off of it.
That's an option that we're looking at as well.
That goes back to my point about entrepreneurship. I want there to be investment, I'm fine with people making money off of it, but there's gotta be somebody who's responsible for enforcing the rules and understanding it and enforcing
Most
fair,
county- most
fair
counties-
play and there's just a lot of opportunities for
Authority, yeah.
stuff to happen when you're not looking, as we're learning right now with the CIC deal is a prime example.
So, having said all that, is there anything you would not want to see out there?
Well, there's a potential for some FBOs to have an ulterior motive. And we just got over one. And they can discourage increased usage of the airport. They take it as their own little fiefdom. So beware of that. You got Dunkin' Oil kind of talking now. It's a valuable facility. I'd take bids. I'd look for the best bid. But be very careful about, you know, somebody moving in there again and just excluding what that airport's supposed to be.
Speaking to our council last week too, I found it interesting to hear him describe the difference between an FBO and an airport manager.
Yeah.
You know, I think because Jim had been there for so long playing both roles, nobody ever defined the two, you know, and we didn't really, I didn't understand that until just last week, which I think is really important.
It
Can
is.
you
and that-
clarify that for some of us in the room?
Well, the fixed base operator is kind of like the concierge, you know, they supply, you know, a place for them to rest and, rental cars, and they will fuel too. I mean, that's a piece of what they do. But the airport manager really runs the airport. You know, he deals with the notice to airmen, he deals with the construction if there's any. This kind of building that would take place there would have nothing to do with the FBO. This would be the airport manager, the county. I mean, that's the difference. So, yeah, you've got an operator, and then you've got someone that welcomes the pilots and makes sure they're comfortable and they get what they need.
Yeah.
Bigger airports have multiple FBOs under one airport manager.
I was wondering, I mean, so one FBO here could do all of those things, the rentals, maybe a
Oh.
restaurant, I mean, just all of the
Yes,
amenities.
Well, that's
But
kind of
you
how
could
it's
divide
been.
them?
Yeah, that's how
You know,
it's
that's
been.
how it's been. As long as, you know, as long as what happened before, like Stephen just said, doesn't happen again. You
Well,
know.
that's almost why, you know, we've got a long way to go, right, before we ultimately figure this out. I'm just voicing where I think there might be some consensus, or touching on it if there's not. We need an airport manager, somebody to manage the rules and understand the functional aspects of the airport as a business, as an asset. The FBO could be that person, and it has been, but there's not been any competition for that in a very long time, and when there's those two entities that are the same, where's the competition to drive the growth? If there's really an opportunity there, which I believe that there is, then you can open the door a little more for a fixed-based operator, but have somebody still working on behalf of the county, on behalf of the government that owns that asset. Because that's what that feels like what we're missing. Is that accurate, or?
Most counties now, rather than a paid manager, have an airport authority. It's usually made up of pilots,
Yeah.
county residents, not necessarily a pilot. You might want to throw in an attorney that's not a pilot, but they all meet once a month. And they're looking over the FBO, they're looking over the condition of the airport, they're looking over what grants are available. It's a good thing. An airport authority board takes the place of an airport manager.
Well, see, that was not necessarily taking the place of an airport manager, but you're the closest thing we have to that. That's why we called this meeting today.
Right.
Because we wanted to hear from you guys.
It provides a little oversight for an FBO,
Mhm.
for
That's-
free.
That's what's missing. Or, I mean, if it means increasing staff of this organization or the CIC to have somebody as an individual on the payroll of the airport authority or wherever, you take $6,000 a month, $7,000 a month, and you have a couple of those, that's enough to pay for somebody to run the thing.
Oh,
You know,
absolutely, yeah.
we've got $8,000 a month maybe that's missing, and, you know, that's a pretty good salary for someone to oversee the whole thing.
What's your gross annual income on the hangars?
Well, there's 40 hangars at $135 a month, which isn't much.
No, but that's a good thing.
$5,400.
Yeah, I actually, so we're talking 70,000.
Yep.
Yeah, I actually lowered the price of the hangars in Hillsborough.
Do they pay less than here?
Nope,
No,
nope, matched you.
yeah.
But everybody's got a waiting list, so.
Yeah, I just-
Everybody's got a waiting
There's
list.
no reason to take yourself to the bottom.
Yeah.
I mean, I have an airplane, but it's a very good deal.
Oh, and that's why so many of those hangars were occupied by non-pilots.
No, it's still cheaper.
Cheaper than going
Yeah.
out here on Woodford Avenue and renting one of those buildings.
Exactly.
But then if they can afford to build more.
See, that's one of the things that was me, if we got, you know, like now, we got 12 people on the waiting list to put a plane in.
Yeah.
You know, we should have at least 15 more hangars out there waiting on them as well.
What size?
And that's a great start as far as turning the airport around to get more traffic,
Yeah.
get more people.
We need to get a bigger hangars, and I
The
think
return on
it's,
investment though is hard to see, you know, when you start talking about what the cost to build a hangar is now.
I almost built one up in Fayette County.
They're expensive.
Well, I came real close. If being the solicitor had gotten a little closer, I'd have
Need to
built
build
one.
one?
That's where we can, in this unique situation where we own the land, we can afford to incentivize that pretty easily by offsetting land. I mean, that's just an example of what could be done.
I was talking about T hangars, not specifically box hangars.
Right.
Yeah, that's the difference. T hangars are expensive to build.
Yeah, we need to figure out the different types and sizes and.
I don't know one from the other.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I would say we don't need to do that. We need to open it up for those who know that stuff, who are prepared for that stuff to make money. I mean, the county, we're never gonna learn or be in touch with the market.
We have to have the people that do understand that, but I think on on a functional level, we have to know what types of hangars are different than others and what sizes are.
Yeah.
Cause they're all uniform out there except for the large hangar. They're all the same design, the same space, and only a certain type of aircraft can fit in there. You're not gonna fit a jet in there. You're not gonna fit a large prop plane in there. So what do we need to have and what does that look like in an overall start at the end kind of viewpoint from this, so that we can fit it all in and put it together right, not piecemeal.
In some airports, they allow people to invest by building hangars that they then lease out. So if you allow that, then you have to think, okay, how do we equate that with county-owned hangars versus privately owned hangars? Is the revenue from the privately owned hangars contributing to the county coffers as well? I know a lot of times with the FAA, if you do a through-the-fence operation, it cannot be at the detriment of the airport. In other words, you can't have an unfair advantage just because you're not on airport land, but you're using the airport runway. So there's all kinds of stuff that's involved in that. It's a good opportunity to get people to invest in that. And a lot that the county can do is in terms of the lease. If the lease is renewable, if it's 25 years or 40 years or whatever, makes a difference in how attractive that is to get someone to come build those hangars if they're going to lease them out.
And to your point, we'll let other people figure that out.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, here's our story, here's what we have to offer,
What are
and the amenities
Yeah.
associated.
Yeah. And, right, yeah.
Yeah, the pushback I got on the big hangar, when you were talking about the person that had a bigger plane, wanted to put it in there and wasn't allowed and left, was that, you know, the helicopter was in there, and how did we maintain that, and what about the insurance and all that kind of stuff, you know, so that's all operational stuff, you
Yeah.
know, which we didn't have any control over.
Sounds like you might have control now.
Sounds like we're getting there.
Well, and if you get a good FBO, there's an opportunity there for the FBO to make money. You lease it to him, and then, like, the plane that Steve's talking about, I know exactly what they would do. I know the two owners.
Yep.
They would call the evening before and say, would you put my plane on the ramp in the morning
Yep.
and have it fueled? You pay for that. Every time you do that, you pay for that. So, I mean, that's another
That's what the
attractive option.
FBO does. That's the kind of stuff they do.
Yeah, and then that's another way to attract a good FBO. Say, okay, we're gonna lease you this building and give you the opportunity to make some money on it.
They've got, as far as I could see the other day, I was out there, Nathan's out there a lot more than I am, but the only thing's in there is that helicopter.
It is the only thing.
That's it.
And the helicopter takes up that much
Much
space.
space.
Yeah, that was,
That's
Oh, yeah.
That's kinda why I said it.
Fuel truck.
That's kinda why I said it.
When I was out there.
I got a plane in there.
Helicopter was out there.
On my little plane short.
That's the only thing that was out there with, and I was out there probably 3 weeks ago. And it's the only thing that was out there with the helicopter and the fuel truck.
All right.
So Larry, they did allow you to put your plane in there?
They're doing, TRM Avionics is doing a rehash
Oh,
of the instrument panel.
avionics, okay.
Yeah, but if you want to just rent it, Larry, they weren't gonna let you just rent it.
You mentioned something earlier that's a really, really big factor, and it's insurance. It's a
Yeah.
killer,
Yeah.
especially right now. So anything that anybody does, that's gonna be one of their, personnel and insurance is a big deal right now.
Well, we'll be happy to take somebody around, or some people around and show them 4 or 5 different places.
I'll be happy to go with you.
Is
You
there,
fly with your buddy Keith.
is there a size limitation of the
I've been with
passenger?
Gator before.
Pardon?
Is there a size limitation of the passenger?
In mine there is, but.
I think this is exciting. It sounds like there's a lot of opportunity here. An opportunity to clean things up and fix what we've already missed.
It's long overdue.
And then, I think there's gonna be some low hanging fruit right away, once we can set up a landscape and an environment for it to.
Plus, you know, there's a $2.2 million rehab on the runway happening this spring out there too. Milled, resurfaced, grooved, blast pads. I mean, there's a lot of work gonna be done there this spring.
That's already scheduled.
It's already scheduled, it's already paid for.
Is the county still working with an engineer?
Yes.
Okay, and is there any way to get an instrument approach coming from the south? I know there's a hill in the way. Any conversation about
On
that?
5,
Yeah,
probably. I mean, it's never been asked for, so I don't think they've ever put it there, but I'm sure it could be.
well, if it's really stormy and bad and you're getting wind out of the northeast, that would be the preferred runway.
Sure would.
So it would be nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's something we can put on the list. I mean, it's not on the 10-year plan, but it can certainly get put on there.
It would give us more versatility and more, it'd be more attractive that you'd have an approach from each direction. WAS approach.
Okay?
I was excited to hear about the sewer line. Any hope for natural gas out in that area?
Yeah. You own a couple inches of land out there, don't you?
Seemed like a good idea at the time.
Beneficial to everybody. Anything else for the greater good?
Nope. Thank you guys for having us.
Appreciate you coming.
Thank you much.
Thanks a lot.
Good to see you.
It's back here lunchtime.
Did you really?
What's that money? I think going through this year, supposed to be good stuff.
Well, I guess I'm gonna go back to the basement, see if I can find
I thought it was 6.
Well, but somehow it,
It seems to do
well, yeah, but just the capitalizing something like this. See how you
somebody wanted to.
Yeah, if the government.
See, that's like, well, got like 4 years ago.
Yeah, yeah.
It was just another year.
No, it's got, you gotta play the game.
Then they was talking about, well, Jim don't own that building. We own the property, but he owned the building, but then he said somebody would know. He came and borrowed money from the county, and he's supposed to pay that money back. I said, so we need to find out what that is. And I said,
for the airport? Really? Okay, that'd be great.
because I was trying to figure out who owns that building. That's like, you can lease property from CXX, railroad people. That's empty. They have a place, they got 3 acres of land in Wyoms. They'll sell to me, that 3 acres, for $1.5 million. But they'll lease it to me on a 25-year lease for $1,000 a month. That's it. But I can't put anything permanent on there if I lease it. So I've never heard you leasing land to somebody and building on it.
Would you suppose they just quit paying the lease and nobody would count?
Nobody.
We just gotta fix it.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. Good way, I mean, that's exactly right.
All right, I'll see you guys
Fix it
later.
better.
Well, the big one.
That makes one of us.
I keep saying I'm gonna shave it off. Then I said, yeah, I may keep it. Then I say I'm gonna shave it off.
Yeah.
I figure it's cold outside and my face gets cold, so I said, I'm gonna keep it. That my big thing is, can you see the grass?
Yeah, I can see a little bit. I'm gonna go grab a bite before 1 o'clock. How are you? I'm good. Did you do something weird, like finance
All
and some
right.
kind of a thing?
Asset disposal fund, we have a 2017 Ford Transit van by the probation department.
In a
That was
pod?
totaled.
No, you're fully dressed.
It's being hit by another vehicle, so it didn't wasn't our fault.
That's the one on the service center.
Oh, okay.
Squishy noises.
So this is one
Yeah.
I'm saying
Like an ASMR.
Wouldn't the insurance company take that? Second, first, so moved.
This is a total vehicle, the insurance is taken off our hands. Got to take it off the insurance.
Okay,
It's
I
like
was
about
just,
60 wood stairs.
Oh, my.
So I'm curious.
I'm just kind of curious, because
Both bags,
they
and I'm
wanted,
just like,
after they took the old one down, we
Cause like I
allowed
could see
them to come
her
back.
They're not supposed to be.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
But it was incredible.
All right. See ya.
Right here in Ross County.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hospital, I'll cover it.
Okay, yeah, it's on my list actually.
You know when that might be?
This is training for Devin Shoemaker, $597 for construction procurement seminar, May 8th.
Yeah. So,
How much?
if you
$579.
Devin and Kim both
click
Oh,
on
so,
this, read the zoning. So, what this shows is, come out a little bit more. So these green lines here, this area right here is what they call the runway protection zone. And you can't build anything in there,
That's right.
okay? And then for this section here, which is zone number 3, if you read the information, it'll tell you what you can build there.
And that's all coded into the
It's all in the
mapping?
yes. Compasses land underlying the outer approach, outer.
This is jobs, juvenile detention center, bills for January, $76,446.
General commercial and general industrial. So you
Three
can't build
period
anything
pay
in
period
those spots
for
there.
You want to sign that?
we already
Well,
approved it.
yeah, we did approve it.
The precision of the commissioner,
So moved.
zoning board, and we're gonna. we
All in favor, say aye.
too.
Aye.
But I was
You're
just,
always-
you can't go.
Well, that was, I mean, it was on
It's
this,
in the bills for the week.
yeah, it was in the bills for the week.
He can build up here, he can do whatever he wants up there,
Yeah,
but he can't
I
do
see
anything.
he's building back here now.
Well, he did one, and he stopped it. And I don't think he's building anything since then.
He'll be back there.
He didn't go out, he built something
Oh,
in.
yeah, there's all kinds of back there now.
Back here?
Yeah, I didn't know, yeah.
This
I'll
is
be out
coming
there.
up our next meeting.
I will, I'll
with,
see about that. Because he can right here.
Andrea
Anywhere
Williams
up here he
for
can.
Yeah, I know.
United, or
And that was
United
the
Way,
thing, see, it kinda
for
cut a
National
line through, that Jim and I have been back there
2-1-1
enough times when he was
2025.
alive.
February
You know, when they
11th,
started-
United Way.
When some of them fell down,
celebrated
he said,
that
well, you know,
2-1-1
they
day.
couldn't build back, and he
We're
told them,
declaring
you
it
guys
by
stop.
proclamation.
But then now,
County
they're
Hall.
all putting in.
What county?
What
See,
county?
This
What
one
county
here.
But see, is one
Yeah.
existing, I mean, if you took it out and put another one in.
February
that-
11th, that's
Yeah,
National
that is.
2-1-1 day.
Oh, okay,
Now, see, this
It's
thing
not-
here
we're not
was
close.
the
You
one
got
we
black
started to
pencil?
build.
That's
That's the one we stopped
So
using.
I
moved.
just
Yeah.
need a motion
I
and a
haven't,
second.
so you say
All
there's
in
more
favor,
stuff
say
out there
aye.
now than this?
Oh, yeah.
I was just making
Just
sure I
make
understood
sure
the
about-
definition
I'll make
of
a
holiday.
trip.
Just to look at it.
Well, see, he's got a,
We weren't closing.
he's
or
got a
anything.
sewage plant.
Yeah, sewage plant over here.
Over here, and see, that's when we bring
You
the
got
sewer
black?
line up through here.
I'll take your word, I'll use
Well,
it.
you're gonna come over here, right?
Well, it's gonna come,
No, Jack, you're using the wrong hand.
it's gonna come from the airport
Wrong hand.
all the way up here.
Yes.
So you think you'll be on that side?
I'm
Some
down.
places
I
it's gonna
see.
go down the middle of the road, not middle, but off on one side.
And then we had,
And then, of course, about manholes.
Yeah.
There's so much fiber optic on your side,
Oh, yeah.
that we're afraid
Well,
to dig in there
furniture.
and tear it up.
Oh, okay.
We were gonna ask them to
Prices
put
on,
on poles over here, but we're still
you
gonna
guys
ask
saw
them, I
this?
don't think
You
they
still
will.
have to,
Yeah,
Feel
so
like
it's
running
gonna
one
be
of
in
these?
the road until we
this
get
is
down
more
here to
like
the
what we have,
corner.
I think.
And then I think it stays
With the
over
more
there.
breadth
But then it's gonna come across the
What's the same
road
price?
back here.
$6.99 a chair,
It's gonna
which is
come
less than
down
what
and
you
pick
said.
up his
Came
plant.
down in price.
Get rid of his plant,
So
there'll be a
pretty
lift station
similar to
there,
what
and
the
then
other
we've been talking
Office
to,
City-
Office City was, they only came in the one color.
what's his name,
Right.
Rodney Weingartner, about
One of
going
who you
across
don't
this, we're gonna stay on the end of our property across here.
I'm just,
Yeah.
I'm just,
Join the wine garden and
I
everything.
know, I don't care.
Weingartner
I can't see myself.
across here.
I can't
And
see
it goes
myself
all the way
as a
down
chair.
Ward 4, all the way
I'm
to
sitting there once a
Of course,
week.
you wanna get Union Heights, right? That's the name of plant, right?
the Union Heights plant. That plant-
I don't know what our budget
It's
is.
gonna go away too. They're
Item
gonna
is
pick it
for
up
this
too.
type of thing.
And now we're
I
talking
agree,
about
that seemed
if we go down through there,
chair and
should we put
I
tabs
love
for?
supporting.
Because I can get some
I
black
love
dye
supporting
and do
local
all
business, but I don't know. Is it better off to just look on Amazon and buy a
Schoolhouse
couple
there.
for $2,250?
Oh, we got local business.
Well, then we're gonna be paying a premium.
Yes, right
They have
there.
an old school.
Kathy needs a new chair, Brad needs a new chair.
So that's the
That's
decision.
yours now, isn't it?
It's mine now.
And I yeah, you guys,
We
I
need
said we need
I
a
need to
chair
take it
once a
to
week.
a,
Bed and breakfast.
But now, just,
That's a good
I've
idea.
I've been picking the black
Because-
stuff.
we're overdue for chairs. I can't tell.
When's the last time, when were these?
Oh, you
bought,
did?
Remember?
Yeah,
It
it's
was
on the
way
national
before me.
register. People
It
that
was
love
before
it.
you.
I'll have a little bit more.
BC.
It's right
And
in
look,
here.
that's the benefit of buying a nice
Yeah.
local one, is
Yeah.
it's gonna be real.
And my
Leather
daughter
is
got
gonna
this
be
bright
real
idea,
quality.
so we're,
Shouldn't be
we're
having to buy
advertising,
another one for,
saying the historical school.
Okay.
And walk to a historical.
but I'm good with whatever.
She thinks
Yeah.
that.
You watch airplanes land every day.
Yeah.
Which one we get?
Hey, she might be right.
You want the
Yeah.
one that-
Well, that would be
I
great,
like
but
the
there's
brown
no
one.
water or
That one,
on
with
sewer.
the brown
not-
lights on the
that's a
bottom?
schoolhouse.
Right.
Well, see,
Well,
the
this
district
is right
has-
past
Oh,
it.
Yeah, I know.
goes all the way up the
Right.
side and.
All right.
That's, that's.
But
Call me
that-
anytime you got a question.
If you like that.
But this
We
drive
don't
out
have
is
the, we don't have
just
the,
ask.
the
Oh, I'll be
buttons
up
to do the work.
Okay.
You got me thinking now.
This is like what we have right now.
Oh, Kevin.
This is
How you
extra
doing?
buttons,
All right.
but it's the
Cash
same
on
price.
And you have buttons on these?
I could,
What's
I
that?
don't.
We got buttons on them, we might as well get buttons all the way up ours too.
I just, as long as this thing doesn't fall apart on
He
me.
was all against it.
I still,
Now
I'm
he's
against
like,
it,
wow.
I'm still against it, but it doesn't make a difference.
Damn it, who wants the chair that should be there?
You
We're
feel
going for
strongly
that.
both
I
both
do
ways?
not.
We'll go for number
I
one.
do not have this.
We're going for number one.
Number one,
Number one.
all in favor, say aye.
Wait, which one's number one?
What, the one says got a one on it? One that got a one on
It was nothing a minute ago, so.
That's, I'm good.
Yeah, I just,
No, I'm the one that's misappropriating.
it's just like it's, I just say, I get on George. George goes out and buys 5 new cruisers. And I get on him because he gives Brad, who's a supervisor, and David, who's a supervisor, and Jack, who's a supervisor, and Kathy, who's a supervisor. Supervisors get 4 new cars. And you got the guys who's doing all the work, got a driving out there with one that's got 150,000 miles on it. But they get a hand-me-down from this supervisor. I've been arguing with George ever since he started about that. This thing is, well, you know, the supervisor's getting, not getting it. It seemed kind of funny that the lieutenant who's in charge of the road, she got a brand new car. I'm sorry, I'm done with that, let's go on.
Well.
Anybody else need
you
new
know,
chairs, I guess?
We rated out the
You want my
one
old
this
chair?
morning.
We're good. You want my old chair?
He had a contract for what they talked about last week,
Oh.
but he,
Red?
but he didn't have it signed.
Oh.
So I said, get it signed and bring it back and I'll let them. But.
Well played,
Are we
Brad.
waiting on
Well
Andrea
played.
Williams?
Yes, you should be here at 12:30.
Yeah.
It's 12:30 now.
Pardon?
I didn't hear what you said.
I said, well played, Brad. Well
Yes.
played.
It's 12:30 now.
Oh, how you guys?
I don't know how you guys sit here
One-
without food and drinks.
I sit here and drink coffee, that's why I always have to.
That's why you gotta go.
Go to the bathroom every 20 minutes.
Enjoy it while you got it.
That's right. You'll be going a lot more when you get to be my age.
When you wake up in the middle of the night, and sit there going, man.
Am I keeping warm?
Keep
Or am I
warm,
getting
go
that?
down.
You do that with your furnace up. It's an easy
I
decision.
say, yeah. I see that. You didn't say anything back, you not know.
That was awful, man. Come on, blood thinners and everything else, man, I froze my butt off. Now we have enough space heaters and fireplace and everything to keep warm.
If he goes out, I'll go and turn the camper on, and turn the generator on the camper, and turn the fireplace on the camper.
Yeah.
Turn the furnace on in there.
Did you see who they're gonna replace John Husted with?
No, who?
Jim Trestle.
You're kidding.
So
No,
it
no,
just
I-
popped up on my phone, NBC4. Former Ohio State football coach Jim Tressel has been picked to replace Senator John Husted as the state's lieutenant governor.
No,
I don't
You
believe.
don't
I'm
believe
not
it?
going for it. It's gonna be,
You said
what's the name?
NBC4?
Oh, the,
What's that?
The development.
Oh,
Oh, Lydia McCallum.
Yeah, that's who it's, that's
NBC4.
who, that's who it's gonna be.
Yeah,
who?
Lydia McCallum.
That's who it's gonna be.
Who is it?
Lydia McCallum, the
Oh.
Department of
Oh,
Development.
yeah.
Department, yeah, that's what I think it's gonna be.
Send what I saw.
Are you ready to continue, Body Boy?
Yes.
All right.
I am now.
I gotta go.
Welcome this morning. We're on your time now. You're on your ID.
I am, yeah.
Well, it's finally, nice to finally meet you.
Good to meet
Talked
you.
on the phone last week.
Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you for calling.
So we got a little something here for you, is what we talked about.
Awesome.
It was a proclamation naming February 11th, tomorrow, as National 2-on-1 Day,
Yeah,
and signed by all three commissioners.
wonderful.
Thank you. Get a picture or something? I'll take it.
Sarah, do you want to
That's
take a
all
photo?
three, that's all three of them. So nice to meet you, yeah.
Thanks for calling.
Hi.
Hi.
Davey Glass.
Good to meet you. I'm Andrea.
Thanks for coming
Are you trying? Thanks for having us. I brought these, just to share.
We gotta get it.
I can leave them with you guys.
Okay, that'd be great, thank you. Talking about county debt on opioid
It's
debt.
gonna stay over where the wall's all busted up.
What?
No, we're not, we'll send
You're
that.
gonna cover it up?
We're gonna get it straightened up here tomorrow.
So it's our honor to present you with this proclamation.
Let's get ready to just stand around.
1, 2, 3. Okay.
Second one here, we gotta
wait
get
on
our
Sarah.
publicist.
Dude, you guys smile.
All right, ready?
I
1,
did.
2.
Did
Come
you
on,
see it?
smile, Rudy. 1, 2, 3. Perfect.
See, that's what I always worry about.
How we doing? I'm Jim Love. How we doing?
Good to meet you.
So what's new with United Way?
So much.
So much?
Yeah, we're making some progress on a lot of initiatives that we're proud of.
Mm-hmm.
And we're bummed that, I don't know if you've heard anything different, but the weather forecast is forcing us to stop our produce market on Wednesday.
Oh, yeah?
Didn't we get
Yeah.
buckeyes in?
How much are we supposed to get?
3 inches on Tuesday night, and it's not that as much as 80% chance of rain on Wednesday. And because it's all volunteer led, it's very difficult to ask those people to come and be in the weather like that, even though we truly need to not produce
I'm sorry, I
food for the folks. But then we have another market on Saturday
Yeah.
out at Huntington Schools. But someday, when time permits and if this is the right place to do it, we just want to really make sure that we're looking across the entire county
Mm-hmm.
and providing services across the entire county. I mean, we're involved in all the school districts with the MAP program, which is food bags for kids on the weekends that have been identified as chronically hungry. So right now Trevor's leading that program, and there's about 160 bags each week that are going home with the kids. We're trying to work with the districts to make sure that that's a resource that they benefit from.
Mm-hmm.
Or do they need us to look at potentially doing an internal food pantry or something of that nature?
Yeah.
And then our Dolly Parton Imagination Library, we're at 3,000 per month, 3,000 kids per month, so that's pretty exciting to help with literacy.
We got 2 of them.
You've got 2 of them?
I'd like to introduce Sarah Wood. This is the young lady I was telling you about on the phone last week.
Nice to meet you. Good to meet you.
But she's currently working on a product for young people, contact points for getting help, getting assistance. So that's what I was talking about to you on the
Yeah,
phone.
thank you.
And so I was hoping you two connect up, and we don't have to reinvent the wheel to a certain extent, but I think if it's taken by category and contact information is placed there, and what they have is a 211 card that I know the whole partnership we give out, and that's what you call, and then you ask for what you want, and It's a real quick kind of service that points you in the right direction to where you can get a specific kind of help.
And I think a great long-term goal, and maybe it can be a short-term goal, I don't know, but it is for us to be able to add the 211, like a chat feature
Mhm.
to desktops that are accessible throughout the community. The library has done that. The library has done that. There's a lot of homeless that visit the library, especially in certain weather conditions. And so they've added this feature to their desktops. So if someone walks into the library, they can just click and get into a chat with someone. Because we also have people that come into the office every day
Yes.
dealing with crisis. And not everybody has a phone. So a lot of people utilize the library, and so we're just trying to find ways to make sure that the community, because it's already supported. 211 is already supported, it's already here, but the problem is people don't know about 211. And so,
I'm wondering if there's a reverse feature with Code Red that we could use that would interlock with 211.
Tell me
Code
what
Red
Code-
is a broadcast tool by the county for natural emergencies or information that we want to get out, you know, county level 3, snow emergency, those kind of things. But it also is a transmission unit for Emergency Management Association and communication with other agencies and things like that. So, but I think it has a feature that it'll send like an Amber Alert out to everybody. But, you know, 211's sort of the reciprocal of that, only with a very specific request for help.
Well, and the other thing that we're learning more about, Trevor joined in October, I've been since the end of April, is 211 is also beneficial for you when you clean out your closet and say, oh gosh, who am I gonna donate this to, who's accepting donations? And so, as a person that's capable of giving, you can also call 211 and ask that question, where can I drop food off to that, you know, things of that nature. So, we just wanna make sure that, as United Way, we're linked in with all of you to make
You're
sure.
uniting things?
We're uniting things.
Yeah.
It is the big obstacle we're trying to challenge ourselves with, to make sure that people aren't working in silos and that we know what's available in the community and that we're communicating that with those who need that information. So.
Yeah. Well, we're working like minds think alike, and I think we can kind of run together with this and find different avenues to get it out, because we got an ask for specifically young people, like I told you on the phone, for
Yes,
you know,
that age group.
pregnancy centers and food and housing assistance and just different things like that, which I know 211 answers a lot of that.
Yes. And something we're working really hard with is the partner agencies, the ones that we're offering funding to, is we're really trying to help them understand building bridges opposed to working in silos. Like we have one agency who was fortunate enough to receive a large amount of baby formula at no cost, right?
Okay.
Well, they don't necessarily know what to do with it or who needs it. So we've been working really hard at putting those pieces together and getting these groups aligned so that the resource that does need this very important thing to feed babies can connect to that entity, and we're just really trying to build those bridges.
Okay.
Because it's very easy to just get stuck in your silo. And we know that that doesn't solve the problem.
If there are organizations that are county organizations that we can help with, like Job and Family Services or others, please let us know and.
For sure.
help with that as well.
You know, the Carver Community Center was the one that this came up. I talked to you about that when we were talking the Martin Luther King Youth Day there, and there was young people on the panel that were asking very good questions about a one-stop shop, or where do I find out where to get help from? And do you have a supply of 211 cards?
We brought you a loop.
Okay.
I don't know who you want to have it.
I would
but
say, is that
there's cards, and there's wrap cards and business cards on the inside, but these are like if they could go in windows, some,
Okay.
you know, but we also have we call them the pokey things that go in the ground.
Yeah.
The ground's a little
The
frozen right
H
now.
tracks, yeah.
Yes,
We-
yes.
We're a wall away.
We've shared it.
Yeah. But,
But just know that we want to be involved and we want to support the growth and the betterment of the entire community.
yeah, if you could go over to Carver Community Center, I'm sure there's somebody there and just drop those off and tell them. you
Oh,
know,
they've got them.
You've got them over there?
They've got our 211 cards.
Okay.
Well, they really do. Uh-huh. Yep. So, we're just trying to,
We appreciate the job that you do.
well, please know we're just open to, constructive criticisms, ideas, suggestions.
Yeah.
It's
all
really
good
important.
now, so, like I said, we appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, thanks so much.
Yeah.
It's nice to meet you all.
See you later.
Well, and I didn't know it wasn't existed either until.
All right, National Day of Prayer, May 1st. Got a request here from Elena Bever.
Okay.
It's okay to use the front of the courthouse for this, like they do every year.
So moved. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Is it open?
I'd love to, because I was telling them to come by and
I'm sure it is. Kathy probably already has it on there.
Yeah.
Probably 18.
All in favor, say aye.
That people can reach out to, and you guys are one of them, but, you know, because there's one who doesn't know everything, and I don't want to miss things, so yeah, we can put our heads together for sure. Yeah.
Okay, you got anything?
Yeah. What's your last
That
name?
covers, like we had.
CLARK.
More than enough.
All right.
Got this notice from the Ohio Department of Natural Resources.
Is that all right? Yeah, thank you. Have a good
And
day.
it is the Division of Mineral and Resource Management. This is Towpath is wanting to dig out some more minerals. And that's your document to say yay or nay on.
About 28. Or 159.
I think it's 159.
Green Township.
159.
Where did they do that? Is that the old,
You know where,
is that the old, like, gravel pit?
yeah, the old gravel pit is on the, yeah.
Mark Scott.
Yeah.
Okay.
They were worried about that during the border revisions because they said, you know, why do we have to pay this much tax, property tax? If it's not- We're not using.
There's probably one right
Paying
here.
the property tax on the freaking ground, well, the sand you're taking over, that's what you're paying. So it's not valued that much. Wait a minute. And I asked the guy during the meeting, I said, how much money did you guys make on that taking gravel and sand down last year? Well, I'm not sure what I said, but it was millions. Well, it probably was. And you don't wanna pay $35 in property tax?
Right. Oh, he came in and didn't want to pay it?
Yeah.
Was it the guy from Towpath? Yeah.
So this is just asking us for permission and
So,
no zone area?
Basically, it looks like if you have a complaint, you can send this in and say, no, we're not gonna, we wanna talk about it some more.
I don't know if I should or not.
Yeah, I don't know if I know enough to have a problem with
And
it.
then you might wanna just, send them an email or give them a call and say, hey, how can we find out some more info? Or I can do that for you.
Or do you wanna go ahead and?
Yeah, it doesn't hurt. They're not gonna start digging there tomorrow.
They're already digging there anyway.
Yeah, for other.
I just said, they're already digging there anyway. They're already bringing gravel
This
out.
is to, I think, renew their application.
To renew the
They
application,
already
yeah.
have.
Oh,
And I think it's a renewal or the expanded.
expanding an existing operation.
Yeah,
There you go.
because they got that, they can only dig in a certain spot while they're there. They're only digging, that's why I asked you if it was 28 or 159.
Okay, I understand.
We have a motion then?
So moved.
Yeah.
Second.
Yeah.
All in favor, say aye.
Well, I like to look at the license.
They need some gravel someday, huh?
I'll go to Bellinstone and
Thank you. That is from George Lavender. That gentleman is retiring and he would like to keep his service revolver.
Who's
for? What's the dollar on there?
Stanley Addy? Andy, I don't know what it is.
Yeah. Addy,
Addy?
Joe Addy,
Joe Addy.
he's a detective, he's retired in, what do you say, 41 days? Yes, that was last week, so he's.
Gonna re-hire.
No, I don't think so. He says he's gonna start a fence company.
See, because he retired before on the medical. Remember he got shot in the butt office?
No, I didn't know that.
Joe Addy got shot in the butt. Or got shot in the back of the hip or something like that. He was out on a medical.
Huh.
If you're out on medical, on law enforcement, they have to keep your job open for at least 5 years, and you can come back within that 5 years. And not lose in seniority, get pay raises and all that stuff like that, you get the pay. So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
What's the dollar on there for us?
You have to, under contract,
Pay $1.
have to pay $1, he has to pay $1, somebody has to pay $1 to
I
get
didn't
the
know if George was just trying to get that on the top of the list, so since we're out.
He gonna have
They
to go
buy
higher now.
If
He's gonna go higher
you
now.
if you retire from the county, from the sheriff's office, you buy your gun for $1. Even if it's a brand new gun, they buy it.
No. Are they shoot 45s, or what do they shoot over there?
They were, but I think you went back to 9mm.
Did they?
Because 9mm, that 45 was too big. I got the 45.
Next thing, the next thing I have is I had a gentleman from the Department of Energy who is a federal employee who lives here in Chillicothe and has been ordered to go back to work, to the office. The office is in Cincinnati, and apparently they'll allow them to rent an office space here, and that's going back to work. These are the emails that I've gone back and forth with him on. Got a whole copy there, there's a whole copy there, you guys can take a look at that. I did meet with Jody and ask him about it, and there is an office space right next to where we have David Taylor's office that's available, if we want to do it.
What is his position at the Department of Energy?
I don't know that he told me, I think he just said he worked as a
Federal employee.
federal employee, yeah.
Does he have a federal employee email?
Yeah, he does. He has a Department of Energy.
Yeah. Apparently this is his region to work in, but their office is in Cincinnati. And he's been working here. It sounded almost like since he'd been hired, he's been working from home here, you know. And now he's got to go to Cincinnati and he doesn't really want to do that, so.
He's either.
I'd like to know what his supervisor has to say about this.
Okay.
If that's okay with them.
Yeah, I can
I
send him
can
an
certainly
email.
understand it being okay with him, because it's in essence still work from home.
Because the thing is,
He's unsupervised.
he wants to lease that office, am I right?
Yeah, he said it won't be from him, it'll be from the Department of Energy.
Okay, well, yeah. I need, my thing is I think we need to get, his boss needs to send us.
Okay.
Yeah, we would need, I need something formal from the Department of Energy.
Energy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is
I
what I need in office.
I don't mind it.
I got
I
the
don't
boss
mind it.
paying for it.
Yeah, I don't mind it, but the thing is it needs to come from them, not from that one individual. That's
We
like,
don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, that's
All we know
so
is you've got a Department of Energy website.
yeah.
On Wednesday, we are gonna be meeting with, Tony and Ken from the, Department of Rehabilitation and Corrections to talk about this MOU that we've been trying to get from them forever. Here's the email that's been going back and forth on that.
And I take it on that is everything's been worked out except for the price.
Well, it
Except for
was
the-
$3.
That's what I thought.
Well, when you read this email,
Now they want.
now they want $4 or something. I think I sent that.
Yeah, $4 on a nickel or something like that.
If you
per
guys are
thousand.
interested in sitting in on that meeting, I will send you the link, or I have Bill send the link.
PCI. What is PCI?
Which one?
PCI, what is, Tony and Kenneth, PCI.
At PCI?
Yeah, what's PCI?
That's Pickaway County.
County, yeah.
Institute.
They are,
Yeah.
uh,
They may be in charge of the whole,
the guys that are doing our project at MS Consulting are also doing a project up there at the Pickaway County Correctional Institute or whatever it is, that little jail project up there. They're doing a sewer project up there for them. So our guy goes up there and meets with them on this project, who are also the ones that are gonna give us the MOU. That make sense?
Mhm.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah.
So they want 440 per 1,000 gallons.
yeah, we're going to 3.
Well, and if you look on down, he pushed back and he said, well, that's just for discussion.
Yeah.
Why they wanna own the meter too.
Mhm.
And, you know, at this point, I don't think that's worth fighting over. The only reason we said we wanted it was because we would make sure that it gets tested every year and calibrated to make sure it's given the proper reading. You know, we don't, but usually meters over time, they don't go higher, they go lower. You know, they wear out, they don't stay up there, so they keep going down. So if they wanna own it, they can own it, I guess.
Do we need to bring in Pleasant Valley? Where are we with Pleasant Valley?
Well, until we get,
You gotta be,
well, they did write to us last week and asked if they could still put sewer lines where we're putting sewer lines, not in the same exact place, but in, you know, Pleasant Valley is a regional sewer district. And they have to get licensed by the state to be a regional sewer district. Well, they wanted to know, since we're putting this line in, are we gonna become a regional? And we're not. This line it's not part of a regional sewer district, and that's what we were trying to get them to understand, is you could take it
and make
and
it
own
regional.
it, and you could probably make it a regional sewer district, but we are not gonna, there's no designation for this line that we're putting in. They were concerned that I think if they don't take it or whatever, then they wouldn't be able to put any sewer lines in there. So, like I said, we went to their meeting, 2 months ago, 3 months ago, and we've been letting them kind of hash it out. And once we got the 60% deliverable done, then we were gonna go back to them and say, hey, where are you guys? We need to know. Are you gonna maintain it? Do you wanna own it? You know, either way, they're not gonna treat it.
Right.
Yeah, it'll be the ODRC, yeah.
Yeah, we don't wanna be the utility man.
No, we don't.
because that's why we want the pumps and all that stuff like that to be the same thing that Pleasant Valley had, because they're the ones that.
Right.
And we're hoping to turn it over to them anyway.
I think they'd be crazy not to take it, but we'll see. I don't wanna push too hard yet, because we're not close enough yet to, I wanna push it.
So you're asking for, if we okay this?
No, I'm asking if you wanna sit in on
Sit in on that
sit in
meeting.
on that meeting.
I got the meeting calendar. It's like, yeah.
You did?
Yeah, I think it's in that thread.
Okay.
See, that's just like,
If not, I'll make sure you all.
that's like the people in Frenchtown. People in Frenchtown going through the same thing the people in Bainbridge.
Well, but
They
the
ran
thing,
that sewer line, but you gotta pay,
at least the people in Bainbridge though, got that grant money to build the system.
you build a system.
So the system got built through grant money, but now all those people that live within
You
two
gotta,
hundred feet of it.
you gotta
tie
pay,
into it.
you gotta pay in to get into it, and
Yeah.
there's nothing that, and the thing is, people in Frenchtown.
And then you're gonna get a sewer bill too.
Yeah, you're gonna get a sewer bill, that's
If you
like
had
the
a,
people in
if you had
Frenchtown.
a septic system before,
Yeah.
the only time you paid anything is when you had to have it pumped out.
It's pumping in.
And now you gotta pay every month to.
Half of it's probably pumping it into that ditch in the first place.
That's kind of where I'm, you know, that's the next thing around the corner for the sewer project, is figuring out who's running
Yeah.
the thing.
Yeah.
Because we're building something, but we don't know exactly what the ultimate arrangement will look like once it's built. We know where it's going, I mean, where the sewage is going, but.
Worst part of that would be, you know, if we were treating it, I think it would be a bigger deal. Right now, the only thing that we would be doing is maintaining, 3 lift stations, which I'm not too sure our maintenance guys couldn't do. But,
About the building,
what,
the building.
we're doing that now.
Yeah, I just said, there's,
We do that now.
for you
We
tonight.
build all those Union Heights houses. So, I mean, we'd like to do it all the way. You know, but if not, I don't think it's anything that we can't handle or create. Excuse me?
Or create a new
Right.
sewer district.
Right.
They don't want it.
I think that-
Why wouldn't it? You're getting $14 million handed to you.
I know.
You
Plus,
get
that
14
expands their region.
You get $14 million handed to you that you didn't have to spend money on.
So here's my next thing. This Pete's project. It's not been easy to deal with.
Yeah.
Because there's chiefs out there that don't play well in the sand, you know, they don't know all the government rules, so they've kind of been doing things on their own, so.
We've never seen that before.
Never seen that? So, this is an agreement, an estoppel agreement you've seen before. But I didn't have you guys sign it before because the VA hadn't signed it. Well, the VA can't sign it. It's gotta go to Washington or somewhere else. And they finally got it back last week. And they won't take a electronic copy. It has to be a wet copy. They have to put it in an overnight mail and send it. So they have done their piece. This is our piece to sign. You're welcome to read this, but I have the letter from Jeff. I can share with you. I think it's right here where Jeff reviewed it and said that he thought it was fine and to sign it, but I didn't want to have you sign it until they signed it because I didn't know how long it would be.
Hey, it's the government. I mean, it's federal government, so hurry up and wait for them.
Oh, it's okay. You saving?
Mhm.
Yes. So I need you to sign. Kathy, you're gonna have to notarize this when they're done.
Okay.
You'll have to sign it right there.
We have a motion,
So moved.
Second.
favor say aye.
This is just, I mean, it's done over.
You're supposed to have,
What we thought was the good move, but I hesitate on these types of things where you're paying, the government is paying to improve something like a baseball field
it belongs to them.
on a place that is owned by government already. Like,
Yeah,
it's a red tape nightmare and.
it has been.
The thing is, if we didn't have anything to do with it, that place wouldn't even be there. It'd be on the ground.
Yeah, but we've talked about this.
That goes on top of it.
It'd be on the
Yeah, I
ground.
remember, yeah, I remember.
All right, let's see what else do I have here for you. I have, this is an in compliance consulting. Remember I told you about the Sourcewell that we made sure that AstroTurf was a part of, so we didn't have to bid? Well, the guy that's doing the tear down and putting the wall back up, we wanna see if we can get him through this. So this company's called In Compliance Consulting National Purchasing Consortium. I want us to join that, just like I did the Sourcewell, so we might be able to use them. So I need you to sign right there.
Membership fee,
I don't believe there is one, like there wasn't with Sourcewell either. This actually goes through Bricker and Bricker and Greg, yeah, it's one of their, yeah.
have a motion,
So,
all in favor say aye.
but the wall's already gone.
Well, that's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
So they took it down without ever telling me they were gonna take it down. They said, well, it had to be taken down because they couldn't get the AstroTurf in because the wall had moved over onto the AstroTurf. Well, that's fine, we have a contract. I don't wanna say all this, but, so we had to, that's why we're pulling them through this consortium to make sure it's done right. Let's see. I think this is a resolution, Kathy. Do you want to use this, or do you want to use your own? This is to say that you're signing this agreement, this consortium agreement.
No, this is fine, I mean, I'll just put a number on it.
Okay. So where do they need to sign, or is that yours? You'll have to pass this. can read
No,
it.
they don't need to sign it, they just need to.
Just
say-
read it to them so they know what they're voting on.
The county administrator recommends authorization of membership in the In Compliance Consulting National Purchasing Consortium. The consortium is a national association of political subdivisions, and the board is eligible for membership and wishes to participate in the consortium. And Ohio Revised Code Section 9.48 authorizes boards of county commissioners as political subdivisions to participate in joint purchasing programs operated by or through a national or state association of political subdivisions in which the purchasing political subdivision is eligible for membership, and that the county administrator has reviewed the membership agreement for the consortium and recommends that the board authorize the county administrator to execute the agreement on behalf of the board. There is no cost for membership in the consortium.
Read that second paragraph again. So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 So there's the resolution, and here's the document. And then
I had to throw
I'll
that
need
out there.
those to send those back to the.
So that's it. We gotta change it on TV.
All right, two more things. The next thing is, a few months ago, I had a company come and look at the cost to tear that building down.
Oh, CMB?
Yeah,
Okay.
Low and Dick. Now, this is only one, so I don't know if they'll all be the same, but that's, there's the cost. Figure that might make a difference in your decisions.
Yeah.
Just knocking the building down is $525,000. To rock hound, seed and straw at $6,000. To break basement slab but leave it in place, deduct $20,000.
That's just for your,
Okay.
for you.
Just for information.
Yep, just to help you think while you're thinking about what you wanna do over there. Now that, like I said, that's only one. You know, if Bob Gillum was still alive, it'd probably be half. There's my motion.
Sign sheet?
Send David and you guys out.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
They're ready.
All in favor, say aye.
Sick and done.
Well, you know, I mean, if you get to thinking about it, if you take the building and the garage out, you still gotta have those walls to hold the parking lot up and all
Yeah.
that, and an alley, you know, I mean, there's a lot.
That doesn't surprise me one.
No.
I actually thought it could be more than that.
I did too.
There you go. There's a lady with a camera in the back room.
Work crew. Get the
Get you
work
in your natural element.
Get the work crew. Have the work crew tear it down.
That's what Commissioner Glass said. We just
Took a
sent Danny
dynamite.
out there with sledgehammer.
Go get the ones that's on probation and Dana Cousin takes around. That way they can work their time.
We haven't had them because we don't have a van.
That's right.
Remember? Remember what happened to the van?
Another one that we just signed off that was total.
Yeah,
That's the one that was totaled.
that was in the accident.
It was in the parking lot.
Yeah.
It was in the parking lot at the service center. The lady was going east on Western Avenue, went across both lanes of traffic, over the grass, over the sidewalk, down the grass, ran into the back of the van.
Well,
We got $30,000 for the total.
For this burned out cinder.
It's you know, to me, it didn't look like it was that bad, and I had Kathy's husband as the 35-year body man. I had him look at it. He said, "Oh yeah, it's total." So
Franny, I know you're a man,
yeah.
you throw a baseball against the side and totaled it. All right, so what do you need?
Just
Well,
She's not gonna need nothing right
So
now.
I want to introduce Ashley to you guys.
I know what I
This is
need.
Commissioner Glass, Commissioner Lowe, and you have met Commissioner Everson. This is Kathy and Brad. And this
Nice
is
to meet you guys.
Ashley Henson. She's
Good to meet
gonna
you.
work with
I think
me
I
a
met
little
you two
bit
before.
while I get this party started.
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just gonna get, is he gonna come back?
Yeah.
Here,
David, did you?
This is
see
nice,
the
I like it, the
form on
desk,
your
that's great, I got that.
this
No.
morning?
Candy.
You need to sign that because the one that Madeline gave you at the beginning was incorrect. This is a new form for a new commissioner.
I will do that in just a minute. Do we want to go ahead and recess and then do this?
Yeah.
Wow.
You wanna do that?
I can wait till.
We can go ahead, make a motion to end, or
So moved.
adjourn.
Recess.
So moved. We need a work session this afternoon.
I think so.
Okay.
I'm fine with that.
Jack, remember,
I'll say we, either way.
I'm sorry, remember our meeting,
2 and 2:30 and 3:30.
well, not only those, but remember when we talked with Austin Musser last week, we need to start thinking about what the agreement work.